Hello, my name is Samantha Pfab, and I'm a fourth-year student at Wartburg College in Waverly, Iowa. I'm majoring in religion with minors in Spanish, leadership, and public relations, and this is my video essay application for the ELCA Fund for Leaders Full Tuition Scholarship. When I think about myself as a leader, I often picture this particular cross that's on the altar of the Wartburg Chapel. It's a wooden cross that was a gift to Wartburg College from Neuendettelsau, Germany. Neuendettelsau is our sister city to Waverly, Iowa, and on this cross there are 7 images depicted that are ingrained on the cross. And those 7 images are inspired by the verses in Matthew 25 when Jesus talks about feeding the hungry, giving water to the thirsty, clothing the naked, welcoming the stranger, and visiting the imprisoned. These are the 7 acts of mercy. And when I think of leadership, I think that this is the way that our leadership needs to be rooted in. Our actions first need to come from service, from love. If we don't start there, then we can't lead people at all. If we don't build relationships with people first, then we can't lead them in the first place. So I think that my leadership stems from these verses, from these images I see on this cross. And it's also especially special to me because when I visited Neuendettelsau, Germany last May, that was the first time I felt my inner call to ministry. So I especially look at that cross, and all I can think about is my future as a leader in the church. As we look ahead to the future for the church overall and for the ELCA specifically, there are many opportunities and challenges ahead for us. I think by looking at the church as a whole, we have this overarching problem of the fact that there aren't full pews on Sundays anymore. Church attendance is decreasing, and the amount of people that find their meaning in life through spirituality, through faith, or through God is decreasing. This is a reality. We're entering the era of the end of Christendom, and that's okay. Perhaps that's scary for church leaders like ourselves, but I think this is an exciting time. We get to ask these tough questions about what is God doing here? How is the Spirit moving here? Because God certainly is still at work here, but we just don't know exactly how or where we're being guided. So when we ask the question of where will the ELCA be in 10 years, I don't really know. I'm excited to find out, but I think first we need to ask the question about how is God at work in the next 5 years, in the next year? Tomorrow, today, what's God doing today? When we start there, I think it's a more manageable plan to figure out where will we be in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years. Because I find hope in the fact that things are happening and things are changing, because change is a good thing. I just don't know exactly where we're being led. The ELCA is an active member of society. What I appreciate so much about this church is the fact that they're constantly playing a role in what's going on in our world. They're paying attention to political issues, to societal issues, to all the things that are happening, and they're talking about it. And I want to take part in that as a church leader. I want to have those tough conversations. I want to do what we're called to do. And that's exactly what I think we're called to do. When I think of this, I think of one of my favorite hymns, We Are Called. As cheesy as it might sound, the 4 truths that I find in this hymn speak to my heart about my calling from God. It tells me to act with justice, to love tenderly, to serve one another, and to walk humbly with God. That's how I hope to live each of my days now and as a future leader of the church. And I think by having all these tough conversations, being active members of society, that we can come together to grow through the opportunities, to heal through the challenges, and to find peace in knowing that God's been with us through it all.